Social media is hard to escape, but just how bad is it getting? A national study from the DAIS team at Toronto Metropolitan University examined the online hate and misinformation we consume. And here with the results is Angus Lockhart, a senior policy analyst on the DAIS team. Angus, good morning.
Hi, thanks for having me.
What were some of the key findings of this study?
Yeah, I'd separate our study findings into two categories. So first, we looked at how Canadians are using platforms and what they're seeing online. And what we found is that Canadians more than ever are relying on social media for news, for information, especially when we look at younger people. So older people might still be using traditional media like newspapers, radio, television, etc. But young people really rely on social media platforms. And when it comes to what they're actually seeing on those platforms, there's more harmful content online than ever. Everything from misinformation to deepfakes to hate speech and harassment are all more common this year than they were in any previous year we've tracked.
For those that are unaware at this point, what risks should we all be aware of when it comes to using social media?
There's a set of risks that you'll notice when you use platforms, and there's a set of risks that you won't. So when we talk about risks that you'll notice, you'll see things like hate speech, you'll see harassment, you'll see violent content online. Those are all increasingly common, and you'll know when you see it. But there's also a set of risks that you won't necessarily notice immediately. Misinformation, disinformation, deepfakes are all more common online, and they're all designed to deceive you. So if you see fake news online, if you see deepfakes online, you might not necessarily immediately notice them, but they are also increasingly common risks online.
This national study also looked at which groups are most impacted by online hate and harassment. What did you find?
We found that a lot of equity-seeking groups all face higher risks of harassment and hate speech online. So when I say that, I mean groups like racialized Canadians, Canadians living with disabilities, new immigrants, and 2S LGBTQ Canadians. We also really wanted to highlight this year the impact that all of these harms have on young people. So while a lot of the time we think of young people as being more media savvy, more online, and better able to handle online spaces, it's important to remember that they're also increasingly likely to face all kinds of online risks. So when we talk about harassment, when we talk about hate speech, when we talk about sharing of non-consensual and intimate images, young people are 50% more likely than other groups to see all of these harms online. So there's a really strong generational gap in harms online too.
Let's give our viewers a big takeaway here. How can we protect ourselves from online harm and misinformation? What should we be doing?
It's easy to protect yourself against the risks that are sort of obvious online, or at least easier. So when you think of hate speech and harassment, you can keep your accounts private. You can only interact with people you know. You can make liberal use of blocking and reporting features that exist online. Those will all help prevent harassment from entering your feeds, any form of hate speech, etc. It's a lot harder to protect yourself from misinformation, disinformation, and deepfakes because those are really designed to trick you. And so you might not even realize what you're seeing when you see it. We always tell people to go to reliable news sources, make sure to go to primary sources. So make sure to get your news from television, go online to news sources you trust, etc., and fact check anything you see online. If you're fact checking, that's already half the battle. Only about 60% of Canadians report ever fact checking content online. So if you're part of the 40% that doesn't fact check things, especially inflammatory things, make sure you start doing that. Don't just believe it when you see one source online.
That's a great point. We only have a couple of seconds. Where can we get more information?
You can find all of our reports online at dais.ca, and there's a ton of resources available to help you spot misinformation and just better navigate online spaces.
Angus, thanks for your time. Enjoy your day.
Yeah, thanks for having me.